Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here today to talk about the benefits and uses of beetroot powder, as you can see right here. Now this particular brand that I'm using today is the Anthony's beetroot powder, and it is organic, non-GMO, which is important when we're talking about beets. But I also just ordered, I found some on Azure Standard for half the price, and I just got it ordered up a couple days ago, so it's going to be coming in any day, and I'm anxious to give it a try. And I will keep you updated on what I think about that in comparison to the Anthony's, but I will link to both Azure Standard down below as well as the Anthony's brand here. So just keep in mind, if you don't have a drop point, you will be paying shipping on Azure Standard. And I've covered this in a short, and I'll be covering it more in depth in a video I'll be shooting later today, that just make sure you compare your price per pound with shipping added in to what you can get with so-called free shipping. A lot of times that free shipping isn't really free, it's just already added into the price. And in most places I have still found even if I have to pay full shipping, that Azure Standard is still cheaper, and they have high quality products, and you can get lots of great organic products there. So I do still love Anthony's, and I'll still be using them for a lot of things. Before I go on to what I'm going to do here, let me go ahead and read to you the benefits of a beetroot juice or powder, or even just beets in general. And that is that it can help to manage diabetes. It's very anti-cancer. So high in antioxidants, which you're going to see that a lot in anything that has lots of vibrant colors, such as your beets. It helps to improve digestion and prevent osteoporosis. It's very cleansing to your body in general, and as such, it also helps to improve your liver health. It's loaded with beta carotene, which of course is good for your eye health. It reduces inflammation in the body and helps to increase your stamina and energy. So those who work out hard, this is a real good one. But if you're just working hard in your garden, this is a good one to help increase your stamina and energy. It is naturally high in minerals such as potassium, magnesium, manganese, selenium, iron, and zinc. It helps to balance blood pressure. This is something people will look at most likely if they have a chronically high blood pressure. This can help to lower and bring in a proper balance. And that, I think a good part of that is because it's helping to heal other parts of the body, because a chronically high blood pressure is a sign of some kind of dis-ease within the body. It's not that high blood pressure is a disease of its own. It just, if it's chronically high, it can be a signal of something else that needs to be taken care of. It helps to increase blood flow to the brain, which then also means that it's good at helping to slow the progression of dementia or prevent it entirely. It's helpful in weight loss or maintaining a healthy weight, and is also high in vitamin C. And then, of course, if you're eating the whole beet, then you're getting all that great fiber that's in the beet as well. So now let's talk about how you can use the beet powder. Now, mostly I've only been using it in the way I'm going to show you, but it's a great natural food coloring, or even to use in your homemade makeup, whether it be a lip balm or a rouge. It's really great for that. I've actually made beet powder from beets that I made a beet kvass from, then dehydrated the beets, then powdered them up, and it made a beautiful powder that you could use for coloring food. So you can make your own powder. You don't have to buy it, especially if you're growing your own beets. I was reading that it's great for using as a food coloring if you like to make red velvet cake or cheesecake. You can use this in place of that horrible synthetic food coloring that we should all be avoiding in the first place. But it's wonderful because you can just add beautiful color to all kinds of different things, and you're also adding the benefits that go along with it. Though I'm sure there's a ton more uses I'm not going to be thinking of. I mostly want to show you how I use it so that it's something I can take on a daily basis to really improve my health, cleanse my body, and so much more, improve my eyes. And so what I do, because what I found with beetroot powder is if you just add a spoonful of it in with water or whatever, it doesn't want to blend well with just a spoon. So I like to use my blender and just make a bunch at a time. Now you can just blend it with water, and it actually doesn't taste bad by itself. But what I like to do is use some kind of juice. Now I've been using the Costco's organic lemonade. I can actually get that delivered here, and that's a really good option. So it makes a pink lemonade, and it's actually kind of beautiful. But what I'm going to do, I don't think this is going to turn out as pretty because of the color of my apple juice. I'm going to go ahead and use this apple juice. So I did years ago bought myself a fruit press, because we had so many apples that year that after dehydrating candy, making apple butter and so on, applesauce, I still had a lot. I thought, why not press the rest out and make some juice out of it? And boy, is it the best tasting apple juice I've ever had. So I didn't want to can it and destroy the flavor of that fresh apple juice, so I froze a bunch of it up instead, what we didn't consume right away, and realized I still had a jar of it left, so that's what I'm going to do. So I want to make a whole quart of this, and I'm going to start by pouring in only a pint of the juice into my blender pitcher. Now, the typical amount that they recommend is a teaspoon at a time. So I would add about a teaspoon to maybe 4 ounces of juice. And since 32 ounces is a quart, and that's also equal to 4 cups, I'm going to actually be using tablespoons and increasing that amount. So I'm going to actually be putting a total of 4 tablespoons of the powder into the juice. And I say that because there would be, if you were to go by the recommended and you're doing it per 4 ounces, that means you would be using 2 teaspoons for every cup, but a tablespoon is actually 3 teaspoons. So I'm increasing that amount even more by doing it that way. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I like doing it this way, just making up a whole quart or so at a time. That way, when I'm ready to have some, I can just pour a little glass of it and then drink it down. And then I'll go ahead and add the rest of the juice in. I just say add a little bit of the juice and then add the powder and then add the more juice. You'll find that it will blend a lot better when you do that. And then just run the blender for a few seconds. Now you can see here I've got a little bit of the powder that made a line right there. So I'm just going to take my silicone spatula and kind of scrape that off the sides and then run that blender for a few more seconds. Okay, and look at that beautiful color. So we'll go ahead and pour that into this jar with the last little bit of apple juice that's already in there. And it's going to be foamy, so it won't, I'll have to just pour in a little at a time. And then let that foam kind of die down. Look at how pretty that looks so far. And of course, once all the foam settles down, this will look more solid. So I'll put a picture of that. Now this is just one way you can do it. You can also use a stick blender if you don't want to use your blender like this. You just want to, if you're doing that, typically you'll need a wide mouth jar, and then you can just blend it right in the jar by using the stick blender. That just tends to work better than trying to use just a spoon to blend the powder in. Otherwise you end up with a big clump of it. But anyway, what I do is I'll drink about 4 ounces of this per day, and that way I'm getting the wonderful benefits of the beetroot, and also add some vitamin C powder to that. And I could have just actually added that in there too. And the vitamin C powder just, I'm still taking it to help continue to help heal my knee and reduce the cramping that I keep getting in that knee as it's been healing up. So that's another option too. And anyway, a really good way to just get some more benefits. And as I said, I've grown beets before. It's always a hit and miss. Sometimes I do great growing beets and sometimes I hardly get any. So having the beetroot powder on hand has been really beneficial, because that's something I can have all throughout the year. But if you're growing your own beets, yes, you can simply dehydrate up your beets and they powder up great. You don't have to lose any of the fiber or anything when you're doing that. Just powder it right up and then use it however you want. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you some ideas, whether you're growing your own beets or you just want to stock up on something to help improve your overall health. Here's a few ideas for you. And if you've ever used beetroot powder for anything else other than the few things I mentioned, please share with us in the comments down below so we can learn from you as well. Or how has it helped your health if you've used it for health reasons? All right, well, thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.